So today we are talking to Lindsay from RocQ, and we are talking exosomes. Welcome, Lindsay, to Aesthetically Speaking. And I was just reflecting on all the new skincare products that came out last year, and it had a lot to do with polynucleotides and biostimulation, and exosomes was the buzzword. So let's start at the beginning, and if you can explain to us, what are exosomes?
So thank you so much for having me today. It's so exciting to be here and to expose everyone to this new science. So exosomes have been on the tip of a lot of practices' tongues, individual tongues, and because there's real excitement. So exosomes, known as EVs or extracellular vesicles, are tiny, tiny, tiny little carriers of messages. So the messages, I like to say, are, let me just relate it to something simple, like little jelly tots. I love jelly tots, but effectively, the jelly tot itself is the cell, and then the sugar around it is the message or the exosome. Okay. So now you get an idea of size. So exosomes, being as small as they are like little halos, a message on halo.
And it's microscopic size. I mean, it's really, really microscopic size, and little messengers between each cell.
Yes.
And this helps for the cell to do its function absolutely perfectly.
So historically, you had a growth factor in the market, and from a size perspective, way bigger than an exosome.
Okay.
And so it was called extracellular communication.
Yes.
So now you've got an exosome, which is so super small, and you have intracellular communication. So that is where not the number of exosomes matters much anymore, but the source.
Okay.
So the source of exosomes can come from anything liquid.
Okay, but before you carry on about the source, let's just clarify for the sake of the viewers, we have exosomes naturally in our body. That's correct. Okay, so I would imagine if they're used in regenerative aesthetic medicine, it's just to really amplify what we have or perfect what we have.
Correct.
Because, I mean, for example, you get to my age, in your 50s and 60s, you're going to, perhaps the quality of exosomes isn't as great as it was, like it was in your 20s.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So just so that you can understand, I mean, if you are producing exosomes anyway, well, why do you need them? And we're going to tell you why. It's the same with an ingredient such as hyaluronic acid. We've got that.
Correct.
But as we age, it gets depleted.
Like everything.
Like collagen, like elastin. So all that in regenerative medicine is very, very exciting when scientists have a breakthrough like this. But now, as we all know, we all want to know where we get our food from, where we get our vitamins from. The source is very important.
Correct.
So then let's delve into where we're going to get these exosomes.
So exosomes at the moment, and I know we've touched on it briefly with regards to trends, have really flooded the South African market.
Hugely.
To the point where it was originally almost like we didn't know about exosomes, and now there are so many exosomes we actually don't know which way to turn anymore.
Yes.
So I'm continually doing comparisons on different exosome sources and where they come from so that we can literally compare apples with apples, because an exosome from a plant is completely different from an exosome from a human. So the different sources that are available in the country at the moment originate from human, which I would say would be the higher price point exosomes, all different parts in the human as well. They can come from fish, which is our range that we will talk about later.
Yes.
They can come from bovine or animal in source, and then they can come from plant. So a number of suppliers at the moment have flooded our market with a lot of plant exosomes and human exosomes and bovine source exosomes and even fish exosomes. But the thing is to know where the message comes from. And that is inevitably what will affect the regenerative intake in your skin.
You really have to be properly informed. So how does the source affect, say, the outcome?
Okay. So with exosomes, let's just say being from a plant source or even bovine, the idea is that your body still has to understand the message that's been carried by the exosome.
Okay.
And the message that's been delivered, let's say in French, will take a while to be transcribed or transcribed or translated by your skin cell.
Yes, yes.
So in theory, it has been proven that if you use a plant exosome, your body will translate that message from a plant over time.
Eventually.
Yes. You'll get to that regenerative end, but it will take on the message far faster if it's from a human exosome, because it's literally English with English, or if it's from a fish source. And the reason it would take it on faster with a fish source is that it's proven to be so similar with regards to the membrane makeup of a human cell. So that's where you get that regenerative intake and that change and that switch on in your cells and that activation far faster with a fish exosome.
And of course, we are in that era where we want everything to be instant.
Totally.
We want everything to be fast. Everything is at the touch of a button. So let's talk ethics for a moment, because you did, I need to touch on this because you did mention human source and then others, the bovine sources, and obviously it is all sustainable and ethically sourced, but I'm interested in the human source, where they derive exosomes.
Okay, so all humans have exosomes. It's almost an exosome is available in any liquid, even milk. But to get back to human exosomes, you can extract an exosome from a source that's always been used in the past with regards to like a growth factor. So you would have a stem cell, which would then release a growth factor and a cytokine. And then from there, you extract the exosome. So you can get a mesenchymal exosome that originates from bone marrow. You can get an exosome from fat tissue or adipose tissue. And there are already human adipose exosome products on the market. So that's the adipose fat cells. And then you can get human exosomes from blood. So we stock another exosome in the market called plated, and that originates from blood platelets. And that message is so important, because if you effectively have a wound, your blood platelets are the first responders on the scene of that injury.
Yes.
That restore and repair and rejuvenate that area that needs healing. So that message from blood, from human, with no DNA, is key.
Okay. And then what about in the lab? What about exosomes? Can they manufacture exosomes in a lab, for example?
Great question. So yes, you do get exosomes that are synthesized.
Yes.
Another word, recombinant. It literally means the copying of those human proteins.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
So you copy the chains of proteins, so you get that consistency. You also have some resistance in certain religions to make use of human exosomes. So now you have an alternative where it is a synthesized human message that does have that regenerative intake, which is so great. And then at the end of the day, you've got alternatives available to you, because science is just so great how it's just evolving, and it's just catering for everyone's needs.
So now that you mentioned science, I'm glad you did, because what was going through my mind is that let's come back to RocQ, the brand, and say everybody's jumping on this exosome bandwagon. What clinical trials have brought RocQ to, their sourcing of their exosomes?
So a couple of years back, in 2020, there were under 100 white papers and clinical trials done on exosomes. Now, I'm just saying this because of the speed at which the science is evolving and moving forward. So that was in 2020, but now we're in 2025, and there's over, let's just say, 5,000 white papers specifically focused on exosomes of all types, of regenerative intakes, skin trials, heart trials, cardiovascular patients. It is phenomenal. It's almost like an endless source. I was very fortunate enough to go to MCAS in January in Paris. And it was such a privilege to be exposed to so much science, so many new doctors, and specifically so many new providers of products. And I was chatting to one of the stands, and they said that they've religiously attended these MCAS events. And 4 years ago, there were 2 exosome stands providers. And this year alone, 203 exosome exhibitors
that's amazing.
were presenting new products on exosomes. So it's not that it's actually new anymore. It's just that it's evolving so much faster.
And the studies are there. Are there. And I think that when we learn about something that is science-backed and that will enhance whatever aesthetic treatment, but also in other spheres of medicine, but particularly regenerative, I think it's it's comforting to know that the studies have been done. And in fact, let's touch on the benefits, because just for the sake of our viewers, we need to know, well, why. You might be asking yourself, why should I be having exosomes? I mean, what makes them so special is that they obviously boost collagen and elastin. They reduce inflammation, improve wound healing, support cell turnover. And it's really the potency, isn't it, Lindsay, and the efficacy and speed at which. So, for example, could you explain, if I decide I'm really, really wanting to have a good skin boost this winter, I'm feeling that my skin is dull and I want to go and have some microneedling done, and my aesthetic doctor would probably say, look, we need to actually needle in exosomes. Tell me the outcome, the difference in the outcome. So first, let's start with downtime. Okay, so depending on what skin. I mean, I've got skin that you can throw acid at and it'll just go, yeah, what next? But there are some people who are more sensitive, and that would take a little bit more time to recover from a really intense microneedling session. Put in the exosomes and explain to us what happens.
So I love that you mentioned microneedling. That for me is like, I would say, my gold standard with regards to collagen induction.
Yes, me too.
the creation of new elastin in the tissue.
Yes.
It's like you want to create that micro injury that your body can repair in a controlled environment. But now you add exosomes to the mix. So firstly, exosomes are so small, they can't even carry inflammatory markers. And the whole theory of doing an intense microneedling treatment, like you've just mentioned, is almost becoming outdated.
Yes.
So now, or let's just say in the past, they would want you to achieve that pinpoint bleeding.
Yes.
Because then you've almost had a very good microneedling treatment. Yes. But now, even with this range that we've now brought into country, which is called the E-50 range, which focuses on salmon as a message, their entire range and protocol is from a 0.3 to a 0.6 millimeter in depth, which doesn't even result in any sort of pinpoint bleeding. So the idea now to get that regenerative ontake is to have a good product with a good message without any inflammation.
Yeah.
And that is where it all lies.
Okay. So that's a lot of people get put out by, oh no, it's too much downtime. I don't have, I can't afford that time. I've got to run from the clinic into my car, put my shades on and hide for the next 5 days. I can't do anything. I've got to be a bat and hide in darkness. And that just takes all that away. Look, your body, obviously, as we said before, you've got your own exosomes. Your brain gets the signal. You've got wounding, go and heal, but it takes a bit of time. But having the exosomes, it just takes all of that away. But then the results. Are we going to get the results?
The results are seen so much faster with an exosome. It's almost like now, there's so many brilliant products on the market, but I would refer to them as, let's say, BMWs.
Okay.
Now you have the opportunity of a Ferrari.
Okay.
And that is where that change in your skin can be taken on far faster.
Yes.
And within 2 treatments. So that's what you want to pay for a Ferrari service, and you want to get that Ferrari feeling.
Yes.
And that is what you achieve with exosomes.
And just remember that we are hoping that we're all on the same page when we want good functional skin that looks radiant.
Yes.
That, might have a few lines. Obviously, depending on how old you are, you're going to have lines. We all age. It's pretty natural. But the exciting part about it is that the regeneration, of getting that cell turnover is done kind of pretty naturally.
Yes. So there's a saying that they have, and it's almost like you want to get that natural glow, but what's actually happening is that you're switching on your cells. Your cells are there. They're just not having a party yet.
They're a bit sluggish.
Exactly.
You want them to
start dancing.
Yes, absolutely.
So when your one cell, let's just say, is switched on and starts having a party, it's almost like you hear the next door neighbor having a house party, and you end up going to that house party because you hear how much fun they're having. And that is called the paracrine effect. Is that it's the switching on of cells. And it's just, I love the science. I love everything to do about regenerative medicine.
Let's talk about the people that might be experiencing hair loss and problems with the fullness of and the volume of your hair subsiding as you get older. There's good news now with these exosomes because they can be stamped in. Right. So take us through that.
So obviously post-COVID, lifestyle, so much stress, menopause.
Yes.
All of these factors in life now contribute to us losing hair.
Yes.
It's a reality for a lot of people and obviously affects them emotionally.
Psychologically, it's
everything.
a terrible
it's like a knock-on effect. Yeah. So the whole hair industry is something that is geared to trying to restore the message and the health of your hair follicles. So we are obviously providing a beautiful product which focuses on and targets different elements of hair loss. Now, the elements that we're focusing on are just, I would say, the tip of the iceberg with regards to all of the issues that could affect hair loss.
Yes.
But some of the things that we can actually target through this range, and it's called the E-50 hair, is communication with the DHT. So you want to stop that communication within your body, which is also hormone related, which then leads to hair loss. You want to increase follicular health, which is another pathway that we talk to. And at the end of the day, you want to keep your hair in growth phase, in anagen phase.
Yes.
You want to stop the hair shedding. You want to stop the hair loss. So if you can just keep your hair healthy with a healthy hair follicle that you are stimulating and giving blood to, and at the same time stopping it from falling out, you've got a win-win scenario.
Yes.
Just don't let your hair follicle die. That for me is like my biggest take home. Like, just keep the blood going to that hair follicle. So this range is phenomenal because it doesn't just target, let's say, you having to go to a practice and say, okay, I'm engaging in a treatment program, because hair generally has a 60 to 90 day cycle. I mean, sometimes you want to go for a treatment and get the result immediately, but you've got to still understand the idea of how hair grows. And so now you've got a product that you engage in a treatment plan for 4 months, but now it's supported by also a home range.
Yes.
So the home range then complements the treatment. I mean, do the home range if you can only afford it at home.
And is it affordable? That was my next question. Is it affordable?
So I mentioned the Ferrari, and yes, there is this whole idea that exosomes are expensive, and to a degree, I'd have to understand that that's completely acceptable.
Yes,
but it doesn't have to be ridiculous.
Yes.
So there are ways and means of getting around it. So if you can't have a full treatment plan for an in-practice protocol, like you mentioned with the stamping on the head, which is totally manageable now with regards to how deep you go with those little needles. Okay. But then you just do the home hair kits.
So I read that PRP is paired with the exosomes. Just explain how that works. Just this, because there are people that, and I'm not talking about the pregnancy hair loss, which is a temporary thing. I'm talking about really distressing hair loss, where it's really, really affecting people psychologically. It's it's just debilitated hair that really, really needs help. How does the PRP with the exosomes work?
So PRP is a process whereby you extract your blood.
Yes.
They spin it, and then it almost separates, and you get that gold
plasma.
Platelet-rich plasma, correct, on top. And that is what is used to actually as the medium for the stamping on your hair. So the PRP is, if we go back to what we said originally, only as good as the provider.
And the person's health.
Exactly, and age. If you're looking at my age, I'm producing a very low percentage of good, viable stem cells that can actually help with hair regeneration. So that is where you can combine therapies.
Yeah, and also let's just interject here. Also, your lifestyle choices. If you're a smoker, I mean, you're starting on the back foot, for instance.
Totally. Right. There's so many different influences of inflammatory responses for our hair. I mean, if you're wearing a cap all the time, the heat on our hair follicle. If you are
braiding the tight,
pulling your hair back, it's called contraction alopecia. You're almost suffocating that little follicle.
Yes.
So there's so many different contributing factors, but now the key is combination therapies. So yes, if your practitioner provides you with a diagnosis of PRP being your best option, then you could go with PRP combined with, let's say, a home treatment program, or combined with a topical application called minoxidil. So minoxidil with Exosome, with home care, with an oral supplementation,
gives you a good chance.
Tick all the boxes and improve the results of the outcome.
Okay. Well, I'm worried that we're running out of time, but what I do want to focus on is this beautiful range. Firstly, just for fun, I see it's called E-50, and there's always a story behind a name. Why is it called E-50?
So I was hoping for something so flamboyant and exciting, but I suppose this is a science-driven industry, and most of the products are from Korea. I mean, a lot of the exosomes provided in our country are from Korea, which is a good place.
Okay.
But really, they just found the optimal balance between safety and efficiency came at the 5 billion functional exosome mark. And so they started relying on the number 5. And that is where the whole basis of this range actually came into fruition.
Okay, lovely. So you did mention that the source is salmon.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more. I mean, are these salmon farmed? Are they they farmed
so they're
sustainably
farmed. They are Atlantic salmon, and what effectively happens is that we harvest the salmon sperm in the spawning process, in the spawning season. So it's not an unnatural occurrence, and it's not inhumane, and it's not it's done responsibly and sustainably, and that is what you really want. So the salmon sperm, or salmon milt that we refer to it as, is the key component of our product. There's been a lot of talk in the industry on PDRN, and it's almost like the PDRN has done the groundwork for us in this market when launching this beautiful new range. It's just that now you have an exosome. It's almost like the PDRNs on steroids, if you would like to use it in the simple terms.
Yeah. So there's an in-clinic product, which is the ampules.
Yes, correct.
That's in clinic, that will be used either in conjunction with a laser treatment, a microneedling. What else?
So it can be used. Exosomes globally are not approved for injecting. So it is only approved for microneedling. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to just open this beautiful box, which is our skin booster, E-50. And it always takes me back to being in a little science class in school, because it's almost when you're mixing things is when you've got the real reaction or the catalytic reaction.
Yes.
And with an exosome, to ensure its freshness and its potency, you get what is called a lyophilized vial. And it sounds like a bit of a mouthful, but it means it's freeze-dried. So a lot of doctors are familiar with freeze-dried vials.
Yes.
Which means you need a liquid to dissolve the powder or the exosomes.
And that gets done while you're waiting.
So you mix the two.
For to do it.
And this is the little solvent vial.
Okay.
So in the solvent vial, and I would say it's the only combination or cocktail that I've come across in the market so far, in that it actually is a brightening treatment as well.
I love
So in this little solvent, you've got additional products like niacinamide, tranexamic, glutathione, your palmitoid tripeptide 5.
All the goodies.
It is a explosion of beautiful ingredients that tick every box for me in a microneedling treatment with an exosome.
Well, in terms of then the home products, what can the patient or the client take home? to sort of prolong that glow that you're going to get from your...
So your in-practice product is the skin booster.
Yes.
You would go to your provider every month if you'd like, and then obviously to keep that message going, to return possibly every third month just for a little exosome treatment. But now to take home and to treat yourself, or if you were going for, let's say, a little bit more of an ablative procedure at your professional provider, like laser or Tixel, then your skin needs a little bit more healing and a little bit more love. And we have brought in this beautiful exosome mask, and it's called a popping exosome mask.
It sounds like fun.
It is.
And it's pretty affordable.
It is.
Compared to what's out there.
So what makes this different? Firstly, we have ensured that we're quite competitive on pricing, because I would love to share this beautiful product with as many individuals as possible.
Yes.
It's not just exclusively for the Ferrari owners.
And it's a lovely gift as well. It's a gorgeous, I mean, it's a lovely, lovely thing to gift somebody that you just love.
So let me tell you about the mask. The mask is actually a biocellulose mask. And the biocellulose mask is actually negatively charged. So your face is positively charged.
Oh, cool.
So when I tell you positive, opposites attract, it becomes like a second skin on your face.
Okay.
And there is so much juicy
goodness
gel inside here that suspends the little exosome beads. They look like little suspended pink caviar balls.
Oh, lovely.
And you pop those little balls before you take out the cellulose mask.
Oh, then you get that tactile satisfaction.
You can keep all the gel for the next night application if you'd like. There's so much in here.
Maybe do 3.
It's
divine. You could eke it out to have 3.
Yes, just make sure your skin is clean beforehand. But it's a beautiful, beautiful luxury mask at an affordable price for sure. So that's the skin range. Super simple. In-practice products, and then a little mask as well. And then our hair, which is so nicely positioned with regards to just being so easy to use. With regards to the reconstitution of the lyophilized vial, the home hair has the same sort of application.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying you could be a little bit of a scientist at home, but you've got your dry vial with your lyophilized vial, and then you've got your solution. And what makes it slightly different is that you don't want to apply it. I mean, we're not saying that everyone's a professional at home. You're just trying to get your hair to grow.
Yes.
You pop it into the foamer, which then prevents any sort of messes, any sort of product running down your forehead because you've applied too much to the front line. And so you just place it in the fridge for 2 weeks. You've used up your first vials, and then you reconstitute your second vials after another 2 weeks.
And what is it? Just massaged into the scalp?
Yes.
Okay. So and left.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do it before going to bed. Or if you were, I mean, most of the professional hair treatment products for home are not oily. And so you could do it after styling your hair as long as it was just on your scalp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
fantastic.
You've got amazing new products being launched with this company. I love how dynamic and punchy this entire range is. The range is now also promising to bring out new products for our markets, and we hope to be introducing an exosome shampoo very soon.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I hope the viewers have been inspired as much as I have. I thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining me on Aesthetically Speaking and really unpacking this whole, it can be very daunting for skincare lovers. You just think that, we can't keep up. The industry has grown exponentially over the years. You just don't know what to do, and you might feel overwhelmed. But I think regenerative aesthetics is definitely the way to go. And you've given us food for thought here. So thank you so much again for joining me. And I really, really hope that our viewers are going to check this beautiful brand out. We'll put all the details below.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Paola.